The essence of philosophy is that we should live our lives so that our happiness depends as little as possible on external events. Epictetus.
I remember when I started making YouTube videos. More specifically, I remember the day, down to the minute and down to the second, the time that I hit 100 views on one of my videos. It blew my mind, and I was so excited that I started jumping for joy, literally. Just thinking that 100 real-life people had sat down and watched my video made me feel incredible, made me feel like I was making a difference, and made me so excited. I felt like I had made it. Now fast forward to a year later where I am today, with 20,000 subscribers and more than 1.4 million views. A video I uploaded yesterday had around 500 views. Now normally the videos I upload get somewhere between 4,000 views and 800,000 views. So when this one video I uploaded got 400 views, I was devastated, thinking that what had happened? Why was my videos not being watched? I was upset, I was annoyed, I was frustrated. But how contradictory is this, when just a year ago I was excited that 100 people had watched my video. Now I was disappointed that 400 people had watched my video. That's a 4 times increase over the year, yet before I was happy and now I was unhappy. And this is something called the Hedonic Treadmill. Put very simply, it states, and it's been scientifically proven, that no matter what happens externally, whether it's the big negative shock to your life, whether that's a death of a family member or your house burns down or something like that, then you'll end up back to your default state of happiness. And the same applies for the positive state of mind. If something incredibly positive happens, and the example that's always given is that you win the lottery, after time, a very short period of time, 1 to 2 months, your happiness goes back down to your default level. And this has been proven because what they did is they got loads of lottery winners, and they found out how happy they were once they won the lottery. Then they found out how happy they were a year later. Then they compared this to a control group, and they found that the winners that had won the lottery after a year were actually less happy than the people that had not won the lottery. And if I had to summarize this whole concept in one simple sentence, I would say that external things do not lead to an increase in happiness. And this is something that the philosophy of Stoicism and Minimalism have come to realize. So in this video, you're going to be learning why you should become a minimalist, and if you're disagreeing with that statement, then chances are you don't know the true definition of minimalism. Then you're going to learn how you can actually start being a minimalist, and then finally, we're going to go over how you can be happy. Because if external things don't lead to an increase in happiness, what does make you happy? And it's not just as simple as internal things. There's something very specific that you need to do in order to become happy. Now, if you enjoy this video at any point, make sure you like the video, and if you're new around here, then make sure you subscribe. So the very first reason why you should become a minimalist is that it reduces stress. If you've been following me for a long time, you'll know how important the environment you're in is in deciding what behavior you do. Put very simply, if you're in a messy, chaotic behavior, your mind is going to be messy and chaotic. Just like a habit always starts with a cue, you're more likely to feel hungry when you smell the cookies. Your behavior is all a set of habits, which means that your behavior is almost dictated by the environment you're in, which is why it makes such a difference if you start working in a study or working in a place that's not your room, because at the moment your brain associates your bedroom with sleeping, having fun, watching TV, whatever that case is, which means that when you try to study, revise, or work in your room, you're going to find it very difficult and your brain's not going to be focused. Whereas if you change the environment you're in and you go someplace where your brain just associates with study, you're going to be able to focus much more. But very simply, the environment you're in dictates the behaviors that you take, which is why if you have a very simple environment with very few things and things that are actually necessary for you to get on with your life, things that are not going to distract you, things that are going to remind you of the importance of being happy, the importance of being grateful, and of the importance of working hard. If you can arrange your environment in that way, which is something that minimalism does, then your behaviors are going to reflect that and you'll become less stressed as the side of it. Now, the second benefit of being a minimalist is that once you recognize that buying things won't make you happy, and once you truly believe this and you believe it down to your core, which is only a realization I've had in the past couple months, then you're going to stop buying things in the hope it's going to make you happy. You're going to stop wanting to buy coffee because you recognize that you don't need coffee to be happy. You're going to stop buying the latest gadget because you're going to recognize that buying the latest gadget isn't going to make you happy. Put very simple, minimalism is a hack, a shortcut to living frugally. And if you've ever read books like The Millionaire Next Door, you'll recognize the importance of living frugally. Because it doesn't matter how much money you earn, it matters how much money you keep. Because there's so many people that their income increases like this, but their spending increases just like this, which means that they don't get any more money in their bank account. They're unable to get out of debt. They're unable to start savings. And they're unable to do stuff with their money, grand things like making a difference to the world, because they're so used to spending it on things that they think will buy them happiness, but in reality, it won't. Those two reasons are enough for anybody to want to start being a minimalist. And if you're still not convinced you want to be a minimalist, then minimalism is simply being more aware of what you purchase. It doesn't mean living with only 4 t-shirts. It simply means you are aware and conscious about what you have in your house, and you're aware of the side effects and the consequences of having those things on your behavior. Now, how do you start being a minimalist? Well, there's simply 2 steps that I've come to realize, and what I use in my own life as I am a philosophy of Stoicism student and a minimalist. The first one is whenever you're going to buy something, you'll ask yourself this question, or these 2 questions. The first question is, can I afford this? Very simply, if you can't afford it, you can't be buying it. That doesn't need much more explanation. The second question is, do I need this? Because if we've come to the conclusion that buying external things won't lead you to being happy, then the only things that you should be buying are things that you need. Now, although I don't take it to this extreme, and although I don't wear 1 t-shirt every day, it's kind of like a scale, and you want to be close up to one end where you're only buying things, or most of the things you buy are only things that you need. Of course food, of course some clothes, and of course water and electricity, all of those things you need, and the scale should be here, and there can be some things that you want to buy just because you want to buy them for fun. Maybe you want to upgrade your laptop so you can get more work done. Of course, those things can be justified. But the rest of the scale, where most people lie somewhere up here, where they buy most of the things because they want them and only just a few things because they need them, you want to be down here where you only buy a few of the things that you need. So the 2 questions again, number 1, can I afford this? And number 2, do I need this? Now, the second thing that you can do, and this is a very simple one, but it works effectively well, is that whenever you buy something, you've got to throw something else out, sell it, or give it to charity. Because what this means is you're not going to clutter. The amount of stuff in your house does not grow exponentially. If you go into either of my sets of grandparents, on my mum's side or on my dad's side, and you go into their loft or attic, you will see mayhem. And most elderly people have absolute clutter in their house. So you can simply follow the rule that if you buy something, you've got to throw something out, and that is the quick shortcut to becoming a minimalist and receiving the benefits of saving more money and having less stress. Now, at the start of this video, I revealed to you that I was going to share the secrets to happiness. Now, I'm going to deliver on that right now. And I want you to know that this isn't my own thinkings. This is directly from philosophers that were around some 2,000 years ago. They said that it is not external things that will make you happy, but it is simply living virtuously. And what this means is that so many people are constantly chasing happiness. They say, like we've just discussed in this video, if I buy this thing, I'll be happy. If I earn this much money, I'll be happy. If I become successful, I'll be happy. If I get a girlfriend or a wife, I'll be happy. But the philosophy of Stoicism says this is completely wrong, and if you keep chasing external things, you will never be happy. Instead, happiness is simply a choice, or happiness is a set of daily thoughts, daily decisions, and daily actions, which means that you can be happy right now by living virtuously. And what that means is you live and you are the best person that you can be. You are constantly living up to your potential. You are constantly doing things virtuously, making the correct decisions, not selfish decisions, but the correct decisions. And when you get that, and when you are constantly living virtuously, that is when you'll receive long-lasting happiness or fulfillment. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, then make sure you go ahead and like it. If you've got anything to say, then leave a comment down below and I'll make sure I answer it. And finally, if you want to see more videos like this one, then just go ahead and click the subscribe button.